Hey guys, welcome to my first ever video on my channel. So I've been watching a bunch of random book videos for the past few months, and I've been really inspired, and I've read a ton more, and I've been really thinking about the books I'm reading, especially way more than I used to. So it made me kind of want to start my own channel where I can do book tags, book reviews, just random book videos, book hauls, stuff like that. I don't own that many books yet, but hopefully I go to used bookstores a lot, like Goodwill's. Barnes & Noble has a used book section I like to check out a lot. So my collection is growing. This isn't actually my bookshelf, it's downstairs, but I kind of just had to make something temporary because the lighting in this room is way better than it is anywhere else in the house. So I thought my first video, oh, and by the way, my name is The Lost Reader. I chose that because I was inspired by The Lost Hero, one of my favorite Rick Riordan books, especially one of my favorite series just in general. I was kind of inspired by that, and I was also inspired by getting lost in a book, so I thought that kind of worked on levels. So yeah, hopefully that's gonna be my channel name now, and Del Crow is kind of my name, Del Crow. It's not my real name, but it's a stand-in for now. So for my first video, I am going to do something that I adore watching. I love watching all kinds of book tags, and I will literally watch any book tag, doesn't matter what it is. And I've been seeing this pop up recently because of the time of the year it is. So I am going to be doing the mid-year freak out book tag. This book tag is kind of summing up your year in books. So 2018 is going to be this one. Maybe I'll do this every year. That could be kind of a cool tradition to start, since this is going to be my first video ever. And I feel like I've read so many good books this year. It's crazy. I've really been getting into reading this year, especially since I started watching videos on YouTube about it, which I had no idea there was a community on YouTube. I mean, I had no idea about book videos until I was looking up a review for, I think I was looking up a review for The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater just to see what other people thought of it. And then I just discovered this world, this hidden world that I had no idea existed until then. So I started watching a ton of videos. I watched a bunch of book reviews of my favorite books. I watched Raven Boys, that's one of my favorite books. I watched book reviews about Cassandra Clare books, which I also like, especially her Dark Artifices series. I watched a bunch of Lord of Shadows reviews, as well as the first one. What was it called? I don't remember. That's just not a good sign, but it's fine. I started watching book tags. I started watching book hauls. I started watching just random book videos, Book Expo, BookCon. I've been watching them forever, and it's totally inspired me, so I'm going to be doing the mid-year freak out book tag. Now, I think I got the questions right. I just Googled it, and I wrote down my answers. I don't own all the books or movie in this case that was, well, I do own it, but not physically, that was mentioned in this, but I do own a few. So the first question is the best book I've read this year, and this has to go to Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I don't know how. I think it's Leigh Bardugo. I don't know, but I just adored this book when I read it. Actually, my library gave me this copy for free, which one of the luckiest things that has ever happened to me, honestly. I was so happy that day. I still haven't bought the second one. I've read it, and I've read the complete series. I know she said there is going to be a third one somewhere in the distant future, and I'm so excited for it. I'm here for it. I was fine with it being a duology, definitely. I feel like it was a nice wrapped up story, and hopefully I'm just hoping the third book doesn't kind of ruin the flow, but I think it'll be fine. I'm excited for it, and this is definitely the best book I read this year so far. I mean, I've read so many good books, but this is definitely, because it's my favorite now. It's my all-time favorite book. Just I'm the kind of person who loves characters, and this book is so heavy on character development and just characters in general. The plot was awesome too, but this is character heavy, which I really love, and have found that I really appreciate that in a book, and it's kind of inspired me to think more about character arcs and stuff like that. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite book I've read so far this year. Okay, so the next question is best sequel I've read so far this year, and I'm gonna give this to a book I read earlier this year, kind of at the beginning of 2018, only a month or two in. and that is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. Sorry again if I mispronounced your name. I literally have no idea how to pronounce these authors' names. So this is a sequel to Skies, one of those, and I really enjoyed the first one, but I didn't love it, like love it, like I was kind of bored at some points. Like, it's not that big of a deal, I did like the book, but the second one really brought it up for me, like I really liked it compared to the first one. So yeah, I don't remember it a ton because it's been months since I read it, but I do remember really liking it and going through it way faster than I did the first one. Okay, so the next question is a new release that I want to read but haven't yet, and that is going to Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. And I remember seeing this book, like, someone reviewing it, and I've heard really good things about it, and it's one of those that I think has, like, a really interesting, like, concept. Like, she was in battle, and she thought her brother was dead, but really he was fighting for the other side. That's about as much as I know so far, and I've heard good things about it, and that's just one book that I know I want to read that I do believe came out this year. So the next question is one I'm really excited about because it is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and there are so many. Like, I'm so excited for so many books, but I narrowed it down to two, and that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare and What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. And I mean, come on, how can you not want to read What If It's Us? It's Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli. I've read, like, both of their books, and I love their writing styles, and I feel like it's going to be great. The cover art is awesome. It's great, and I mean, Queen of Air and Darkness, I mean, I need to know what happens. The feels after the last book just, oh my god. I can't even talk about it. Oh my god. That twist, though, I mean, if you haven't read it, okay, so with Cassandra Clare books, I like The Infernal Devices, but my all-time favorite is the Dark Artifices series. The Mortal Instruments, I haven't really read all of them. I don't like them as much. I do watch the Shadowhunters TV show. But I just, like, I prefer the other series. I know the Mortal Instruments series is very popular, and I do like it. I do like the characters, but I just haven't gone through it all, and I definitely don't like it as much. Okay, so the next question is the biggest disappointment of 2018, and I've read so many good books, this is hard, but I do have two, because I kind of, most anticipated is, I kind of mashed them up. I have two for each. So the first one is not really, like, a disappointing one, just one, like, I was expecting something different, and, like, not better, but, like, I don't know. So it's the Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton, I think. I did like the book. I went through it pretty quickly, but, like, it just didn't, like, the writing style I didn't love. I know it's got, like, that really mystical writing style, which I would recommend to anyone, but I just didn't, like, the plot wasn't my kind of plot, I feel. Like, it was very, like, I don't know how to explain it. I just didn't love the plot. And it was written really well. It was written in that, like, yeah, mystical way that you get with, like, Maggie Stiefvater and, like, oh, what's another one? I'm reading a book called I'll Give You the Sun. I don't know the author, but I'm currently reading that book right now, and it's similar. It's, like, short story, magical, fairy tale type writing. I would explain it as, which I usually like, but, like, it just didn't work for me. And I did give it, like, a 3 stars, so it was good, but just not, like, my favorite. And the second book that I would say kind of disappointed me was a book I actually had to read for the book club I'm in, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. It was also good, but I just didn't like it very much. Like, I didn't enjoy reading it. It was not my type of, the writing style, I didn't really like it. I didn't really like the characters. No, it's a great book. It's gotten such good reviews. It just wasn't for me. Personally, like, I can tell, like, obviously the reviews are great, especially, and with The Strange and Beautiful Stars of Ava Lavender. It just wasn't for me personally. Like, I didn't love the writing style of it. Okay, so the next question is the biggest surprise so far in the year. And this has to go to Everything Everything by Nicole Yoon, which I ended up really liking for the most part. Biggest surprise, I guess it can be taken in 2 ways. So I did like it, but I did not. Everything Everything was not what I expected it to be. I have read The Sun Is Also a Star. I read that before, and that kind of introduced me to Everything Everything, because I really liked The Sun Is Also a Star better than Everything Everything, but I really did like Everything Everything too. So again, there's obviously, like, a twist at the end. I feel like that's kind of common knowledge, I guess, because this is a popular book. That was a surprise, and then the next surprise was like, I really liked it, but it was completely not what I expected it to be. That's just what I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil anything. So, favorite new author. So I'm gonna go not debut. I'm gonna go new for me because I don't really know debut. I'm not that in tune with the author world. I'm not like in that enough to know like who's a debut author. So I'm gonna say Leigh Bardugo because I've read all of her books as of now. Well, all of her books, I guess I don't know if it's all of her books, but I've read the Six of Crows duology, I've read the Grisha trilogy, and I've read her short story collection, which I loved also. The illustrations were great in that, I loved it. Because I have found myself like reading everything she writes and like loving it, so that's definitely my favorite new author. Kind of my favorite all-around author with like Rick Riordan and stuff. The next question is kind of a weird one. It's newest fictional crush, and I don't really have fictional crushes. Like, I don't really, with like TV shows and books and stuff, I don't really connect myself to the characters all that much. I know a lot of people do, but that's just something like I don't really do that much. So I'm just gonna kind of put in like a book recommendation here to do with crushes. So I recently read a book called Meet Cute. It's an anthology. It's a collection of stories from like really popular authors, and I really did like it. I gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads because like some of them I didn't like, but some of them I really did like, so I kind of gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. So if you're looking for content with like crushes and like meet cutes, obviously it's called Meet Cute, I would check out that book because that's kind of full of that kind of stuff. So the next one is an exciting question of newest favorite characters. And I have a bunch, so I'm just gonna, I think I brought it down to 3. Yep, okay. And 2 of them are Leigh Bardugo characters. Oh, I'm so unpredictable, I know. First one is, these are in no particular order, by the way. Nikolai from the Grisha trilogy. He was kind of my favorite character in that whole trilogy, just because he was kind of like the comedy relief, what is it? I don't know. He was kind of the comedy, like, he was a comedy character. I can't wait for his duology, by the way. I'm excited for it. Wylan from Six of Crows duology, and I really liked him because he was kind of like us. Like, he was like the reader, because he was new to this world too of like violence and adventure and heist. Like, he was the one new to it, so I felt like I could relate to him on that level. Like, he was like the innocent one who was like, what's all this violence and heists, you know? So I felt I really related to him, and I thought his character was really cool, and he was like an artist and stuff, which I related to as well. And finally Sloane from This Adventure Ends, because I thought she was a really great character. She was very relatable and she was funny, which I always, you can tell I have a type of character that I really like. Book that made you happy, and this was a really easy answer for me. I'm gonna say Simon vs. a Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli, because that book is just like a rom-com, like it's so happy and fun. It just made you really happy. I think I finished it in like a day or something. It was just a quick and easy fun read, and I totally recommend it if you're looking for like a read to brighten your day. It's really fun. Favorite book to film adaptation so far this year? I have only watched one book to film adaptation this year. I want to watch Ready Player One, but I don't know why. I don't know where it is right now. Is it out yet? I don't know. I don't go to movie theaters, so the book to movie adaptation this year is Love, Simon, which I thought was great. I mean, obviously the book is like, of course, better, but I really loved the movie. I totally recommend reading the book then watching the movie. It's not a disaster like Percy Jackson was. I'm not even gonna mention it. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna bring up that emotional baggage. The next question is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year, and I'm gonna go with, I have this one, because I bought it. This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills, and I just think this is so pretty looking, and I love this book, by the way. I totally recommend it. It's a fun, quick read. It's just like, I love the style of it, and even if you take the outside flap off, you've still got this like gorgeous, super fun, like artsy star pattern, which I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's great. And the cover itself is just like paint, and I just love the look of it, and it's definitely one of the prettiest books I've bought this year. I mean, that's why I bought it. That's one of the reasons I bought it, was because I was like looking for a nice book on my shelf, and this one fit the bill. So the final question is, what books do you want to read by the end of this year? So I narrowed this down to 3, I believe, just because I have like, my to read on Goodreads is like 100 books, which is crazy. Slowly working my way through them, adding more than I can get rid of, but I have 3 that I definitely want to finish this year, because like they're ones that I'm like excited about. The Astonishing Color of After by Emily Pan is one that I really want to read this year, because it just looks interesting. It looks funky, and it looks like a really strange concept. Basically, it's this girl's mother turns into a bird. It's something along those lines. I haven't looked that much into it, but I've heard good things about it. Children of Blood and Bone by Torni Adeyemi, and I just really want to read this book. Like, it looks so good, and I've heard such good things about it, so I really want to read it, but I just haven't got around to it yet. I'm trying to finish the Illuminae trilogy right now, and it's taking forever because my library is like being a sloth to get it, and I'm trying to finish that right now, and it's a really long series. I mean, kind of deceptively long, but I do want to finish that first, and then hopefully I can move on to it at some point soon. And then lastly, I want to read The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky this year, because it's just like something I feel like I need to read, just because like it's kind of like a classic almost, is it? I don't know, but it's kind of like, it's like a staple. It's like The Fault in Our Stars and stuff, which I also want to read this year because I haven't yet. So yeah, I feel like I should read that this year because I think it's a quick read, and it's just something that I want to finish this year. So yeah. So that was my mid-year freak out book tag, which I am not freaking out though mid-year. I'm rocking along. I think I'm like at 40 something on my 50 read challenge on Goodreads. So like I'm reading a lot this year, and I am not freaking out quite yet. I feel like it might come a little bit later though. I might be freaking out soon because there are a lot of books I want to read. The 100 in my to read is not gonna help me here. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching. Check out my Instagram. I'll put a link to it in the description below. It's kind of where I keep my like main updates about what books I've been reading, so definitely check that out. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the book tag. Leave in the comments below what other tags you want me to do, if you want specific book reviews of any of the books I mentioned here. So yeah, let me know. Bye guys.